let's just close the offseason with Orlando because it's probably the team we've talked about most. I'm going Orlando Magic, number 1 seed in the East.
Oh, let's go.
I thought about just saying 2 because I thought the 2 would be bold. No, but like, let's just go nuts.
Go nuts.
Crazy.
Go crazy,
like,
Sam Vecenie.
The whole point of this episode is bold. The whole point of this episode is to get silly a little bit and just get crazy. And like, it is what it is, right? So I'm saying Orlando Magic, number 1 seed. What is my case? Top 3 defense, top 5 defense, whatever you want to call it, just because they have that infrastructure built with Jamal Mosley, with certainly all of the defensive pieces that they have from their starting lineup of, when Jalen Suggs is in, and then certainly Franz Wagner is a terrific defender. Wendell Carter is a terrific defender. Off the bench, you have Goga, you have Jonathan Isaac. Like, we know what their defensive infrastructure is, right? It's very good. Offensively, I think that they should be much better. Like, you have Desmond Bane, you have Paulo, hopefully having more space to actually get all the way to the rim because Bane is there. I would hope that as the season progresses, we get more like really creative, fun, like, quote unquote, guard to guard, more like inverted actions with Paulo and Bane that I think could get really, really fun and tough. Franz, I think, continues to look great. At the end of the day, like his play with Germany, everything like that, like this dude's going to keep taking leaps. Desmond Bane's a massive get for them, just offensively. They've needed somebody like this in the backcourt forever. And he's also a tough defender that fits in with their mentality. I think this team wins well over 50 games this year and looks terrific. The other guy that like, I have been very skeptical as to whether or not Jace Richardson was going to be able to play as a rookie. He looked quite good in preseason.
So I haven't caught a they're one team I haven't caught a preseason game of yet, but I saw people tweeting about him the other day. So he must have had a good performance.
Yeah,
he had multiple good performances.
He's had a couple that have been pretty good. He is, just a guy that is really knocking down shots. He looks very comfortable, which is something that we expected, right? Just a guy that looks super comfortable in terms of like poise and playmaking ability. I think that the key is that they continue to run him off of different off-ball actions and allow him to get downhill to his left, right? Like that is something that will be much easier. I don't know if he's going to play when the regular season comes around, like immediately, right? Like I just don't know. I don't know what their rotation is going to shake out as. I'm not going to sit here and be like preseason basketball is exactly the way it's going to look in the NBA because it's just not. But I think that Jace might be able to help them. It's not impossible that he's able to help them. The issue is just that Tyus is there. And Tyus is another reason why I think this team, has a good chance to be pretty good because if guys get hurt, they have some real backcourt depth now to be able to handle the offensive load. I think that they just have a lot of bodies. I'm expecting a big, like breakout level all NBA season from Paulo, which we've talked about before. I think Franz continues to take steps forward to be like a borderline all-star. I think he would have been an all-star last year if he didn't get hurt. Essentially, if they can be like a top 3 defense and I don't know, like I think they have a chance to be a top 10 offense. I think they probably don't get there, but they have enough pieces to do it now and to like get it together. Where maybe they're like a top 15 offense and, the Cavs deal with some injuries. The Knicks with a new coach kind of deal with some growing pains early in the year, trying to adjust to that, adjusting to have Mitchell Robinson back in the lineup, which is largely good, but, could involve some growing pains with a new coach, right? I think Orlando sneaks in and goes for it and gets the number 1 seed. That's my boldest prediction.
I love it. I mean, when we talked about the over-unders, I said I thought all 3 of those teams would win 50 games, and I went under on the Cavs, even as the number 1 seed, thinking that they would be somewhat sandwiched together close there at the top. And so, as you were talking through that, I agree with a lot of what you're saying about Orlando. So I was trying to find like, what would be my argument on why maybe Cleveland or New York came back to them just a little bit. I think for Cleveland, you said it was the injuries that they're starting the season with, even though, we love Sam Merrill and, all of that. But it's also like, is that a team that maybe at this point is like, hey, we got to win in the playoffs if we want to keep this together and prove something. And so they may maybe approach the regular season a little bit different in the second year of Kenny Atkinson. The New York one is a little harder for me, outside of like Brunson misses a bunch of time or something, because I assume they're going to push in the regular season with Mike Brown joining, in his first year, trying to figure things out and it coming together. But maybe there's a learning curve, to your point, where you're bringing in Mike Brown, new coach, where, is there a side of the ball where they struggle to figure out the new schemes? Do they adjust? Does it take a little while to adjust to the two big starting lineup and then the rotations off the bench? How does their depth hold up if they do, suffer some injuries? So I'm here for it. I don't think those teams are going to, like, where I could see OKC still running away with the West, even though I think Denver's going to be really good. I don't think any team's running away with the East. I think all three of those teams end up pretty sandwiched together at the top.
I agree. I totally agree with that. I think they're all going to be very, very close at the end of the day.